investigate this unpleasant incident with a view to identifying and bringing to book the perpetrators and to forestall future occurrences. The Honorable Member also requests the House to observe 1 minute silence in honor of the deceased. May we rise to observe 1 minute silence. May the souls of the departed rest in perfect peace. There's another announcement that just got submitted now. There will be a meeting of the ad hoc committee on JAM today, 18 July 2023 at 3:30 p.m. at office number 1.03. This is signed by Honorable Sada Soli. Can Honorable Princess Chinwe Clara Nabife approach the chair, please? Honorable Princess Chinwe Clara Nabife approach the chair. Any member who has a petition to present to the House may please rise to do so at the moment. Yes, Honorable Kelechi.
The right Honorable Speaker, my name is Honorable Kelechi Nwogu, representing the good people of Ichie Omoma Federal Constituency. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm from River State, the treasure base of the nation. Mr. Speaker, I have a petition from Mr. Fidelis Omori from Delta.
Please, I would like those who are managing the microphone to raise the volume. We want to hear ourselves. My own is good, but the one for members is not as audible as it's supposed to be. Kindly raise the volume of members' microphones.
The right Honorable Speaker, my name is Honorable Kelechi Nwogu, representing the good people of Ichie Omoma Federal Constituency. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm from Rivers State, the treasure base of the nation. Mr. Speaker, I have a petition from Mr. Fidelis Omori from Delta State. I read, the Speaker, Federal House of Representatives, through Honorable Kelechi Nwogu, a petition on the gross-rum killing of my son, 2 years old Evan Omori, and serious injuries on my second son, 1 year old Erimosela Omori, by men of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, in Asaba State, in Asaba, Delta State. Mr. Speaker, it is with utmost sadness and heartbreak that I bring to your notice and that of our distinguished members honorable members.
You are protected. Please allow him.
I'm addressing the speaker.
Allow Honorable Kelechi to carry on with his petition, please. But Honorable Kelechi, you know you are not moving a motion.
Yes, I will.
So
yes.
You are protected. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just to read the heading and the first phrase, then I read the prayers and I will let
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
A petition on the gross-rum killing of my son, 2 years old Ivan Omori, and serious injuries on my second son, 1 year old Eromisela Omori, by men of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, in Asaba State, in Asaba Delta State. Right, Honorable Speaker, I will just read the first heading and read the prayers and lay it before you.
Excuse me, Honorable Kelechi. Is
Yes.
it the same thing that is on the other paper? Number 2. Can you check your other paper, number 2?
Mr. Speaker,
You can check your system. If you don't have the physical copy, can you check your system and go to document, other paper?
now, Mr. Speaker, sorry, let me address the House just a minute. This is a call, but this is a petition from the father sent to the House. So there are two different things. And it's good when you inform the House, you also inform the House the true position of such a sensitive matter. So this is a petition from the father, not myself.
Mr. Speaker, it's an abuse of House processes.
Please. It's a petition from the father that is aware of what happened to the son. That the motion that you're not acquainted with what happened. So briefing the House, it is necessary that we brief the House from the right source. We, Mr. Speaker, if you
I said you are protected, you are delaying the House.
may God bless
Do
you,
and
Speaker.
then lay your petition. Please don't educate the
Mr.
House.
Speaker, to the prayers. Prayer 1. That the Honorable Speaker.
No,
Mr. Speaker,
no.
point of order.
This is outside our rules.
Just lay the petition.
Honorable member, lay your petition. Lay your petition.
Honorable Kelechi, you may now lay your petition. The prayers in the petition will be considered by the committee that the petition will be referred to. And any of you who want to lay petition, just mention the source of the petition, mention the subject matter of the petition, and go ahead and lay the petition. The other work will be done by the relevant committees. We're waiting for you to lay it, please. Honorable Kelechi, lay a petition across the maize. So they can open. I don't need to press it. On top, lay it across the maize. Honorable Kelechi, lay it across the maize. Over the maize. This petition is hereby referred to the Public Petitions Committee once constituted. Any other petition from the House? In the absence of any other petition from the House? Oh, yes. Honorable with the green cap, please.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir. My name is Akin Rotimi, Junior MHR, representing the good people of Ekiti North 1 Federal Constituency comprising Ikole and Oye local governments. Mr. Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, I apologize.
You are
for
protected.
That,
Don't allow them frighten you.
Thank you very much.
You are protected.
Thank you
All
very
of
much
them
for
made their
protecting
own
me.
mistake when they came here.
Thank you very much.
Don't allow anybody frighten you. Go ahead. You are protected by the chair.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, sir. I'm submitting this petition, Mr. Speaker, on behalf of Platinum Legal Consult, who are solicitors to the 2012 intake officers of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. Mr. Speaker, I wouldn't go into the details as you have instructed, but it is concerning the fact that despite the abolition of the HND-BSc dichotomy in the military and paramilitary agencies since 2016, these particular officers have been denied career progression, and this has great implications on morale of these officers.
Okay, it's okay. Why don't you seek the leave of the House to lay the petition? Seek the leave of the House.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to seek the leave of the House to lay this petition before the Honorable House, sir.
You may now lay your petition.
Thank you.
Any other petition? Any other petition? None. This petition is referred to the Committee on Public Petition once constituted. I don't think we have any other petition. Any matter of urgent public importance? He's not here. Is Honorable Babidele Salam here? He's not here. Is Honorable Shadigbe here? Is Honorable Shadigbe here? You have a matter of urgent public importance. Are you prepared to move on with it or later? Okay, you're not prepared. Can I have the gentleman raise his hand there?
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Adamu Tanko is my name, and I'm speaking for the entire people of Suleja, Tafa, and Gurara Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Niger State. I'm coming under urgent matter of public importance, Order 8, Rule 4 of the Standing Orders of the House of Representatives, 10th edition. urgent need to contain the outbreak of anthrax discovered in the farm at Gajiri village, Suleja, Niger State. The House notes the report of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development concerning the presence of anthrax in Nigeria. Also notes the laboratory test conducted on the collected samples by the National Veterinary Research Institute, which confirmed the first report case at a livestock farm located in Gajiri village.
Point of order.
Along the Abuja Express.
Mr. Speaker, point of order.
In Niger State. Aware that similar cases of the disease were confirmed in
point of
Ghana, Burkina Faso, and Togo.
Excuse me, you've already started presenting the motion.
Yes, that's my point of order.
You are supposed to seek the leave
yes.
of the House.
Thank you.
Based on our rules.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
For us to know how urgent it is, whether or not we are accepting is urgent. So start from there.
May I use this opportunity to seek the leave of this honorable House in order to suspend the relevant section of our standing order. So allow me present this as a matter of urgent public importance. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder to this motion? Let me have the gentleman in white behind Honorable Francis. Yes?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am Honorable Comrade Bashir Usman Gorau, member representing Gwaranya Gadapere constituency. I am from Sokoto State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion that this Honorable House should take the matters of urgent or public importance being moved by my colleague, Honorable Adam Plonsuleja. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so second.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. My urgent public importance goes like this. Urgent need to contain the outbreak of anthrax discovered in a farm at Gajiri village in Suleja, Niger State. The House notes the report of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development concerning the presence of anthrax in Nigeria. Also notes the laboratory test conducted on the collected samples by the National Veterinary Research Institute, which confirmed the first report case at a livestock farm located in Gajiri village along the Abuja-Kaduna Expressway in Suleja, Niger State. Aware that similar cases of the disease were confirmed in
Please put on your microphone.
Aware that similar cases of the disease were confirmed in northern Ghana, Burkina Faso, and Togo, with symptoms including sudden death and blood oozing from natural body openings, nose, ear, mouth, and anal region, and spread through affected livestock, bushmeat, and contaminate the environment. Concerned over the potential spread of the disease to other livestock farms in the country and its possible impact on the public health. Worried that anthrax may affect humans in direct contact with affected animals and contaminated products with potential inhalation through spores or wounds, recognizes the urgent need for proactive measures to prevent the spread of anthrax in Nigeria and protect the health and livelihoods of citizens by placing public health precautions in places such as strict surveillance and monitoring of livestock farms, as well as proper disposal of infected animals and contaminated materials. Acknowledges the effort of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and the Niger State government in promptly addressing the issue by implementing necessary measures to contain the spread of anthrax and protect both livestock and human health. Resolves to urge the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development to collaborate with relevant stakeholders in implementing effective surveillance, vaccination, and awareness campaigns to contain the outbreak and provide adequate resources and support to affected communities, including compensation for losses incurred due to the outbreak. 2, urge the National Center for Disease Control to put in place measures that will stop the further spread of anthrax. 3, mandate the committees on agricultural production and services and legislative compliance once constituted to monitor the compliance. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I so move.
Thank you very much. You can off your mic now. Any seconder to this second leg of the motion, the main motion? Honorable Francis Wife.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Francis Ejirogane Wife is my name, and I represent the entire people of Ughelli North, Ughelli South, and Udu.
Order, please.
Delta State. I rise to second the matter of urgent public importance moved by my colleague from Suleja. I so second.
Motion have been moved, have been seconded. Let me ask those who are in support of this motion, say aye. Aye. Those who are against, say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is hereby referred to the Committee on Health Services once constituted. Honorable Sadiq Bey, I think you are ready for your urgent public importance.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
You may now
My name is Honorable Tolulokpe Akonde Shadipe. May I seek the indulgence of the House on Order 8 through 4 to go ahead with this motion of urgent public importance?
You have to mention what the motion is first before you seek
The indulgence.
the leave of the House for us to suspend our rule. What is the motion? We need to know the subject matter.
Urgent need for the investigation into the poor state of the Olomi, Olojoro, Ijebugo, Ita-Egba, Onwanwen Road in Oluyole Federal Constituency, Oyo State.
Is
Why am I saying why people are saying
so is there any seconder that this motion is urgent enough? Any seconder? Okay, Honorable Oshoba.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Olumide Oshoba, representing Abeokuta North, Obafemi and Odeda Federal Constituency. I rise to second the order that Honorable Shadipe has just laid to seek the indulgence of the House.
No, you have to move to second the motion first before we go into whether it is urgent or not. She has not moved that motion.
Okay, so I'm now seeking,
Honorable
seconding the motion.
Chinedu Oga, take your seat, please.
Motion has been moved and seconded. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. Let me ask this question again. This is our sister. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The nays have it. You know, based on our rules, we can only take 2 motions of urgent public importance in a day. And if we are going to take the 3rd one, then there must be a motion for the suspension of Order 8, Rule 4, Sub 4. So if you want to be the 3rd person, that is the procedure. Let me hear from you, Ugo Chinyere.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise on a motion of urgent importance, which is today the United Nations...
Please increase the volume of the microphone of the members, whoever that is in charge.
Today, the United Nations sets aside July 18th of every month to celebrate a great fighter of justice in Africa, Nelson Mandela. And today's celebration is important because it touches also on climate change, food security, and solidarity. So I urge that the House do suspend the relevant rule, especially Order 8 Rule 4, to enable me take this motion.
There is a motion for the suspension of Order 8 Rule 4 Sub 4 to enable us hear what he has to say. Any seconder to this motion? Can I have the gentleman in the middle raising his hand? Yes?
Honorable colleagues, order please. Honorable colleagues.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, my name is Right Honorable Ambassador James Shaibu Barka. I represent Gombe Home Federal Constituency of Adamawa State. I rise to second the motion if bill moved my brother to suspend Rule 8, Order 8, Rule 4. I so move. I so second. Thank you.
Those in support that we suspend Order 8 Rule 4 Sub 4 to enable us take the 3rd matter of urgent public importance, say aye. Those against, say nay. So you want us to stop at 2?
Mr. Speaker, this one is very urgent.
Let me ask again.
Mr. Speaker, it's very urgent.
Those in support that we suspend our rule, Order 8 Rule 4 Sub 4, to enable us take 3rd urgent matter of urgent public importance. Because I know there is 3rd and there is 4th. There are still people raising their hand.
Yes.
We are not voting on the subject matter. We are voting on whether we can suspend our rule.
Yes.
To hear what the subject matter is all about before voting on the subject matter. Those who are in support that we suspend 8 Rule 4 Sub 4, say aye. Aye. Those against, say nay. Nay. The nays have it. All right. Order.
Honorable colleagues, order please. Order please, honorable colleagues. Honorable Zakaria. Honorable Alius.
All right. You were raising your hand, Honorable, behind. What was it about?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is about the ongoing flood ravaging the 2 very prominent communities in Israel.
Excuse me, Honorable Member.
Honorable colleagues.
Do you want to move a matter of urgent public importance?
It's a matter of urgent public importance. I want to move.
We are still going to ask the same question that you move, that we suspend our rule. If it is serious enough, we will see.
It is.
So can you move the motion first?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order.
Mr. Speaker,
Point of order.
Orudo is my name.
Speaker, point of order.
The people of Ikorabasi.
Please off your phone if you are not recognized. Off your phone. Go ahead.
Representing the people of Ikorabasi, Mparanyi and Isnobolo, Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, this matter of urgent public importance is life-threatening. It's an ongoing flaw.
You are not moving the right motion.
Mr. Speaker,
Move that we suspend it.
Mr. Speaker, I respectfully move a motion that Rule 8, Order 4, Rule 8, matters of urgent public importance, the relevant orders of the House be suspended to enable me move this motion.
There is a motion on the floor. You may sit down. Those in support that we suspend our rule. Again. Any seconder to that motion? Any seconder to that motion? Echedia?
Thank you. The People's Speaker, Mark Eset is my name, speaking for the good people of Uyo, Urwan, Nsiratai, and Ibesikpo Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning
Mr. Speaker,
to second the motion of urgent public importance that is life-threatening, moved by my colleagues. I so second.
Those in support that we suspend Order 8 through 4 sub 8 to enable us take one extra matter of urgent public importance, and which will be the last one, say aye. Those against, say nay. The nays have it. It appears the House is not interested in having extra matter of urgent public importance. So we are just going to respect the mood of the House and progress. Honorable colleagues, let's move into the business of the day. Honorable members, the business of the day is the presentation of 52 bills. I now invite the clerk to read their short titles only.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. Ecological Fund Management Board Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. National Metallurgical Training Institute, Shagamu, Ogun State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 Alteration Bill 2023, first reading. Federal University of Science and Technology, Remo, Ogun State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Federal Institute of Diving Technology, Ibeju Lekki Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Student Loan Access to Education Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Niger Delta Institute of Technology and Skill Acquisition Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 Alteration Bill 2023, first reading. Agricultural and Energy Technical Institute, Nasarawa Egon, Nasarawa State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Federal University of Education, Apanga, Nasarawa State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. National Institute for Technical and Vocational Education, Wamba, Nasarawa State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. National Youth Development Commission Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Integrated Agro-Industrial Park, Apanga, Nasarawa State Establishment Bill, first reading. North Central Development Commission Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Oath Act Repeal and Enactment Bill 2023, first reading. National Universities Commission Act Repeal and Enactment Bill 2023, first reading. Nigerian Communications Commission Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Federal College of Education, BND, Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Legal Aid Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Michael Opara University Teaching Hospital Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Michael Opara University Umudike Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Statutory Bodies Annual Reports Bill 2023, first reading. Cyber Crimes Prohibition and Protection Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Trade and Investment Agreement Reform and Miscellaneous Provisions Bill 2023, first reading. Federal University of Oil and Gas Technology, Opai Delta State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Federal College of Health Technology, Bakassi, Cross River Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Federal University of Agriculture, Atompe Inamite, Cross River State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Nigeria Arabic Language Village, Borno State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Nigeria French Language, Badagry, Lagos State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Investments and Securities Bill 2023, first reading. Chartered Institute of Agribusiness of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Chartered Institute of Business Administration of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Chartered Institute of Digital Forensics of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Federal College of Agriculture, Safi, Zamfara State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Federal University of Teaching Hospital, Gusau, Zamfara State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. National Institute for Artificial Intelligence and Robotic Studies, Shomolu, Lagos State 2023, first reading. Unclaimed Financial Assets Commission Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Joint Admission and Matriculation Board Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Federal College of Agriculture and Forestry, Okundi, Cross River Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Allocation of Revenue, Federal Account Bill 2023, first reading. Compulsory Free Universal Basic Education Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Legal Practitioners Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Prohibit Kidnapping, Hostage-Taking Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Criminal Code Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Compulsory Treatment of Care for Victims of Gunshot Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Southeast Development Commission Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Niger Delta Development Commission Act Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Federal College of Information Communication Technology, Oshogo, Osun State, first Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Federal College of Information Communication Technology, Enugu State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Federal College of Information Communication Technology, Rivers State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Federal College of Information Communication Technology, Niger State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Federal College of Information Communication Technology, Bauchi State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading.
Thank you, Clerk. Honorable colleagues, the first order of the day is a motion on reconsideration of outstanding bills from the preceding assembly, standing in name of Honorable Professor Julius Ihumbre. Honorable Ihumbre is invited to move the motion.
Mr. Speaker, Professor Julius Ihumbre, OON, DSSRS, Onwa Federal Constituency, Edo State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move for a reconsideration of outstanding bills for the preceding assembly. The bills are Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria, Repeal and Enactment Bill 2023 HB 99, Federal Polytechnic in Yakshendam Establishment Bill 2023 HB 45, Nigeria Police Force College Training School and Institution Establishment Bill 2023 HB 46, National Library of Nigeria Establishment Bill HB 23, HB 89, Nigeria Hunters and Forest Security Service Establishment Bill 2023, HB 90, Federal Medical Centers Act Amendment Bill 2023, HB 91. The House notes that pursuant to Order 12, Rule 16 of the Standing Orders of the House, bills passed by the preceding assembly and forwarded to the Senate for concurrence, for which no concurrence was made, or negatived or passed by the Senate and forwarded to the House, for which no concurrence was made or negatived, or which were passed by the National Assembly and forwarded to the President for assent, but for which assent or withholding thereof was not communicated before the end of the tenure of the Assembly, the House may resolve that such bill, upon being regazetted or clean copies circulated, be reconsidered in the Committee of the Whole without being commenced de novo. Also notes that the aforementioned bills were passed by the preceding Assembly and forwarded to the President for assent, but for which assent or withholding thereof was not communicated before the end of the tenure of the last Assembly. Aware that the bills were regazetted as HBs 99, 45, 46, 89, 90, and 91, and read for the first time, respectively, resolves to commit the bills to the Committee of the Whole for consideration. Mr. Speaker, I so move. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate you for coming via this Order 12 through 16. You know that oftentimes you have a new assembly that some members will go to unfinished business of the previous assembly and begin to reintroduce them as a fresh legislative work, thereby wasting the time of the legislature as well as resources. These kind of motions is set out to cure such duplicity. And I really commend you, Professor, for bringing this up. And I think other members should look into some of the bills and issues that commenced last section that was not finalized and come via 1216 for the House to give it an expedited attention to enable it progress as fast as possible. Any seconder to this motion? Ronrom, Honorable Ronrom.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Right Honorable Kabir Alasarurum. I represent Honorable Kura Kibe Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am Francano. I rise to second the motion ably moved by the Leader of the House. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. Those in support of the motion, yes, what's the amendment?
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I remain Babaji Mi Benson, represent the gender-friendly people, Ikorodu Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I urge that you kindly amend the last resolves to commit the bills to the Committee of the Whole for consideration tomorrow or the next legislative day. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
I was thinking that is presumed. But since you have moved it as an amendment, any seconder to this amendment? To the prayer? Let me have the man that is dressed in royal outfit from Delta.
Amedu. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker,
I
that man
remain
from Edo State, not Delta.
Chief Dr. Billy Famous Adesuwa Osawaru, member representing the good people of Oriomo Nwode Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Edo State in proud Benin Chief. I rise this morning to second the amendment ably moved by my colleague. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Before I ask the question, there is one clarification I need to make. It is the responsibility of the Committee on Rules and Business to schedule bills that go to consideration of reports or committee of the whole. It is the rule, it is the business of the Committee on Business and Rule to say, we are scheduling you for tomorrow or next tomorrow. But because this committee has not come into place, we will just accept this amendment today, but it will not be our practice. It will not be a precedent, because that will be interfering with the mandate of the Committee on Rules and Business subsequently. We will come and move a motion and say, I want it considered tomorrow. That will not be allowed. But for this exceptional case, we will ask the question. Those in support of this motion say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. Nay. The ayes have it. So let me ask on the men on the same motion. Yes, what is your point of order?
Amendment, please.
Mr. Speaker, I want to come under order 8, Rule 5, personal explanation. If the House don't have objection, I have a personal explanation.
Go ahead with your personal explanation.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, my name is Right Honorable Ambassador James Shaibu Barka, representing Gombe Hound Federal Constituency from Adamawa State. My personal explanation, Mr. Speaker, is we are going to the Committee of the Whole House. These bills, we don't have any idea about them. We were not here in the last assembly. We should be availed with these bills. We study them, we look at them, then we consider them. For us to go blindly and go and consider bills that we don't know, honestly, it's not fair. And so that is my personal explanation. Please let us do these things, this business of the House, with decorum. Last week, we considered a bill, the same thing, of almost 500 billion. There was no paper before us. Please, we should not continue to be doing businesses which some members doesn't have idea about it at all. That is just my own point of reasoning. Thank you.
Okay, let me, you raise an important issue, but I don't know if you read that motion well. May I refer you to paragraph 1? If you go to the second to the last line, the House may resolve that such bill, upon being re-gazetted or clean copies circulated, be reconsidered in the Committee of the Whole without being commenced de novo. What that means is that between now and when the consideration is going to happen, there's going to be a re-gazetting, there's going to be a circulation of those bills for you to look at. And why we have Committee of the Whole is that if you have discovered something in the course of looking at the re-gazetted bills that you want to raise, during consideration of that particular bill, you will raise it and we'll be able to treat it. Okay, I think that answers your question. Let me ask on the general bill that have been moved, those in support of it say aye. The general motion, moved by Prof. As amended, those in support say aye.
Amendment.
Those against say nay.
Amendment,
the ayes
please.
have it.
Amendment, please.
No amendment, we are done with this one.
Point of order. Point of order. My privilege, he's trying to indict the House.
Most distinguished colleagues, the second order of the day is a motion on call to investigate, the call for investigation and prosecution of the officers involved in the shooting and killing of Ivan Onose on Horima, standing in the name of Honorable Oyime Idem. Honorable Idem, while I invite you to move this motion, you may recall this came under petition, and we seem to have it before the House. Kindly move to the prayers of this particular motion, because today we have about 15 motions to treat, and we need to speed it up to give everybody a fair hearing of what they want to propose to the legislature. So, Honorable Idem, you are invited to move the motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues. My name is Idem Unyime, member representing Bukanafun, Roganam Federal Constituency of Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to raise this motion. It's a call for investigation and prosecution of the officers involved in shooting and killing of Ivan Onose Omorian. The House notes that on July 13, 2023, a 2-year-old Ivan Onose Omorian, who was returning from school, tragically lost his life due to a stray bullet fired by National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, in Asaba, Delta State. His younger brother, Eromosele Omorian, was also shot in one of his eyes. Also notes that on April 2023, a 17-year-old boy, Ibuchim Ovesie, a resident of Agingi community of Basa local government area of Jos, was killed by some police.
Honorable Idem, like I said, it is a motion on notice. The members are reading it. Can you go to your prayers, please?
Okay. Okay, let me go to the prayers. The House resolved to observe a minute silence for Ivan Onose Omorian and other victims who tragically lost their lives. 2, urge the Inspector General of Police, IGP, to take over the investigation, prosecution of the officers involved in the shooting and killing of Ivan Onose Omorian, and ensure that the perpetrators are brought to book. 3, also urge the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency and all other law enforcement agencies to provide regular training and sensitization programs for their officers on the appropriate use of firearms, conflict resolution, de-escalation techniques, and respect for human rights. 4, mandate the Committee on Human Rights, when constituted, to ensure that the family of Onose are adequately compensated for their loss and report back within 6 weeks. And 5, also mandates the Committee on National Security and Intelligence, when constituted, to effectively monitor the activities of law enforcement agencies.
Honorable colleagues, take your seat, please.
Including
Honorable.
Conducting regular evaluations, reviewing incidents, and recommend appropriate action to prevent similar occurrences, and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I so move.
Thank you, Honorable. There are many seconder to this motion. I want a lady, the professor.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Professor Lillian Orobu, representing the good people of Oka North and South Federal Constituency. Representing Oka North and South Federal Constituency, I'm from Anambra State. I stand here to second the motion ably moved by my colleague. I so second. Thank you.
Yes, please, amendment. Can we, Chris Contact, Honorable, can we hear from you?
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker and my honorable colleagues. My name is Chris Nkwanta. I represent the good people of Okwa East and Okwa West Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I have 2 amendments on the prayers. Prayer number 4, the sponsor of this motion has asked for 6 weeks. I want to amend that we reduce it to 4 weeks. Amendment number 2, Mr. Speaker, is on prayer number 5. I would like us to add, also mandate the Committee on National Security and Intelligence, when constituted, to effectively monitor the activities of law enforcement agencies, including conducting periodic mental health evaluation. That's my amendment, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Nkwanta. Please off your mic. I think you raised a fundamental issue. We don't have 6 weeks in our rules. What we have is 4 weeks. And I would like to ask questions with regards to your amendment. Who is seconding this amendment? The gentleman in front.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mabura Amadou Palace is my name. I represent the entire people of South IP Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Zamfara State. I rise to second the amendment that was heavily moved by Honorable Okonta. I so second. Thank you.
Those in support of this amendment say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Those, another amendment?
Amendment.
Yes,
Order, Mr. Speaker.
Every amendment will be taken. Just.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
What is your point of order? Sit, Honorable Chinedu.
Order 6-2. My privileges have been breached, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleague here is trying to indict the whole House that we approved the 500 billion naira without going through it, without proper documentation, without him getting the papers and everything. That's what he said here.
Please off your mic if you are not recognized. Always off your mic.
Mr. Speaker, my name is Kama and Kem Kama. I represent the wonderful people of Ohazara, Onitsha, and Ivo Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, it's an indictment on me, and I know that if my constituents hear this, they will be very mad at me. And it's an embarrassment to the whole House that a member will stand here to say that we passed a bill without knowledge, without us going through it, without proper documentation. All of us who have served this, Mr. Speaker, if you didn't get it, you say, I. That is speaking for himself and not speaking for everyone else, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's a quality order that you raised for clarification. I think you are referring to the honorable member who was trying to make amendment to the motion of Professor Julius. That is well taken. The issue remains that the House got documentation with regards to what we pass. We did not pass anything in ignorance. And we needed to make that point clear. And the 500 billion for palliative, the details of it was well specified. I think that has been well taken by the honorable member who made that utterance. Let's move on. Let's move on to any other amendment. You were standing. Let's hear you, Honorable Chinedu. Make it quick, straight to the point.
No. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I remain Honorable Comrade Chinedu Oga Owen. Mr. Speaker, I speak for Ikwo, Ezasa Federal Constituency. I'm from Ebonyi State. My amendment, Mr. Speaker, is item number 2, where he said urge Inspector General of Police to take over the matter. This is a paramilitary organization, Mr. Speaker. They have an act establishing national drug. The person
what's the amendment? What are you amending?
The amendment is that the office of the chairman, Drug Law Enforcement Agency, should investigate and hand over the matter to the police. They have to do a digital action before they will hand over the matter to the police. Police cannot just go to take over the matter without the Drug Law Enforcement Agency doing their preliminary investigation. That is the rule, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Chinedu. Those in support of this amendment say aye. Those against say nay. The nays have it. Honorable Jah, please.
Order, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, honorable members, we know this is a very, very important motion. And it will not be fair for the House to throw. Ameja Hababawa is my name. I represent Chibok, Dambua, and Goza Federal Constituency. Actually, as I want to amend prayer number 4 because it sounds preemptive of the investigation. Because prayer 2 urge the Inspector General of Police, IGP, to take over the investigation and prosecution of the officers involved in the shooting and killing of Evans Onus and ensure that perpetrators are brought to book. But prayer 4 that mandate the Committee on Human Rights when constituted to ensure that the family of Onus are adequately compensated for the loss and report back within 4 weeks. Mr. Speaker, I want that to be deleted because we are being preemptive of the outcome of the investigation. Because if you said the family must be adequately compensated, this shows you have already indicted the parties involved. It's a very good motion, but that particular motion, or that particular prayers alone can bastardize the intention of the mover of the motion. So, honorable colleagues, I call for the deletion of item number 4. Let it be expunged away. Let them do the investigation. I so move, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Jah. Any seconder to this motion?
Second floor.
Honorable Kuye.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name remains Ademori Aliu Kuye. I represent Shomolu Federal Constituency from Lagos State. I humbly rise to second the motion for amendment as moved by my colleague, Honorable Jah. I so second. Thank you, Mr.
Those in support of this amendment say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Let me say this before we vote on the final motion. Amendment? Still on this motion? Okay, let's have you, Honorable Bagos.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr.
After this, one more amendment and we are done.
I'm Dacho Musa Bagosa, representing the good, great people of Jos South, Jos East Federal Constituency. My amendment is on the prayer number 2, urging the Inspector General of Police to investigate the killing of Evan. But on the body of the motion, there are other killings, not only for Evan. So my amendment is the killing of Evans and others, not just Evan and others.
Any seconder to this amendment?
Second floor.
Let's have the speaker, former speaker of Gombe.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Right Honorable Inu Garba, member representing the people of Yamatu Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Gombe State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my colleague to amend the main body of the prayers of the motion. Thank you, sir. I so second.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion for amendment that have been seconded, say aye. Aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Before we ask the last question, there is a contribution I want to make on this motion. As further amendment on this must be a very interesting motion. Let us have the minority leader make his amendment, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues. Kingsley Chinda. I represent Toby Abo Federal Constituency. I'm an inquiry man from River State. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I rise to seek for an amendment, but I pray that you allow me make some explanation. This motion is very sensitive, and the spirit behind it is one that everybody in this chamber will buy into. However, if you recall that the father or the parents of this same child has brought a petition before us this morning, and we reached a decision on that petition, we referred it to the House Committee on Public Petition. Because I would not want to oppose the motion, that's why I'm bringing this amendment, sir, that relying on Order 9 Rule 1B, 1(6) of our rules, which says that once we have arrived at a decision in one session, that we cannot rescind that decision except by a proper application to so do. I would therefore pray that we take prayer 1 to observe a minute silence and jettison the other prayers and say that the motion be referred to the House Committee on Public Petition for investigation, as we have agreed earlier. I so move, sir.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
You see, once a matter is on notice, it's already published. You that was bringing the petition, once you see it there, that the issues have been addressed, I don't think it's also very wise to continue with the petition. Because in law we say where there are two equities, the first in time prevails. The publication of that motion on notice was filed longer than when the petition was presented. So one might argue that the petition was an afterthought, having seen the notice. So we allowed two of them to run for now. But at the point, I am sure that the Committee on National Security and Intelligence will work with public petition to give a final resolution on this. That is what I think. So for now, I would like us to...
I will then withdraw my amendment, if that is the mind of the presiding officer, sir.
Thank you, Minority Leader.
Point of order, Mr.
For being
Speaker.
so kind. I think we need to move on finally on this motion.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Where is the point of order coming from? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Once again, my name is Chief Dr. Billy Osawaru, member representing Oriomo Nwode Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Edo State, a proud Benin chief. Mr. Speaker, I'm relying here on Order 806. Mr. Speaker, self-explanation. Personal explanation, Mr. Speaker.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues. I believe right here our honorable member stood up and indicted some of us that actually believed that the vote we passed on the 500 billion, we all received...
excuse me.
Mr.
This
Speaker,
matter has been...
I need your protections.
No, you are not protected because it has been handled.
Mr. Speaker.
The honorable member, sit down. It has been handled. It has been taken care of. Let us not overflog this issue. All right?
Thank you, Mr.
Your
Speaker.
point of order is not sustained. Let me say this on the motion. No more amendment on this motion. We are done so that we don't water it down so much. It is important for the security agencies to, be advised. Most of the law enforcement agencies to be advised to have their active duty personnel wear body cameras. It is important that they know that this is one of the best work practices, that you put on your body cameras. What is happening in Lagos at the moment shows that they have embraced that particular global best practices. So I think it is important for our security agencies to embrace that. One of the things is going to help us achieve is that it's going to make law enforcement more transparent and also serve as a technological deterrence against extrajudicial killing and human rights violation carried out across the country. If others are doing it and it has been exemplified in Lagos to the extent that LASMA, as we speak, wear body cameras, I think our security agencies, it's high time they started considering that. Let's go to the general motion. Those in support of this motion say aye. Aye. Those against it say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is hereby referred to Committee on Human Rights and National Security and Intelligence when constituted. Honorable colleagues, I want to appreciate you for being very calm today. This House has restored, this House has enjoyed the sacredness that is one of the characteristics of the Parliament. The decent way we have addressed issues and the calm approach to resolving issues has been wonderful. You are commended. Honorable colleagues, the third order of the day is a motion on the need to make provision. But before we do that, there is one part of that motion that asks for 1 minute silence. May we rise to honor the dead? May the gentle soul of the departed rest in perfect peace. Honorable colleagues, the third order of the day is a motion on need to make provision for free high blood pressure and sugar level check desks at airports. Standing in the name of Honorable Kalijaye Adeboye Paul, Honorable Adeboye is invited to move the motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And distinguished colleagues, I rise to move the motion on the need to make provision for free high blood pressure and sugar level check at our airports. My name is Honorable Kalejai Adeboye Paul. I represent the good people of Ajeromi Felunu Federal Constituency, the mini Nigeria. I'm from Lagos State, the state of aquatic splendor. Thank you. Note that air travel can be physically demanding and stressful for many passengers. These factors combined with potential health risks associated with long flights and varying environmental conditions make it essential to prioritize the health of individuals passing through our airports. Aware that air travel has become increasingly accessible to a larger portion of the population. However, the stress associated with travels, coupled with sedentary nature of long flights, can significantly impact the health of individuals, particularly those with pre-existing conditions such as high blood pressure and sugar and diabetes. Also aware that it is of utmost importance to prioritize health of individuals traveling long through our airports, and this motion aims to ensure their access to essentials. Believe that by establishing free health, high blood pressure, and sugar level check desks at our airports, we can promote early detection and prevention care for conditions such as hypertension and diabetics. Regular monitoring of these vital health parameters will enable travelers to seek medical intervention and prevent potential complications. Also believe that the provision of these desks will demonstrate our commitment to public health promotion. It will send a powerful message that will prioritize the well-being of our citizens and visitors, making healthcare services easily accessible regardless of their travel schedules.
Honorable Adebo.
House therefore resolved to 1. Urge the Ministry of Aviation to collaborate with relevant health professionals and organizations to establish and operate high blood pressure and sugar level desks check at the airport across the country. Also urge the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria FAN to put adequate medical facilities in Nigerian airports to forestall sudden death from high blood pressure and diabetes, among others. Further urge the desks to be staffed with trained healthcare personnel who can adequately measure blood pressure and sugar level, provide basic counseling, and refer individuals to appropriate medical services if necessary. To mandate the Committee on Aviation when constituted to ensure compliance. I so move. Thank you, sir.
Any seconder to this motion?
Yes, sir.
Can we give opportunity to those who are upstairs? Yes, we have not recognized them since today. Yeah, honorable members upstairs, do you want to second this motion?
Yes, sir.
Please stand. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My name's...
Please increase their microphone so that we can hear them.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Member representing Kankia Kusada Ingawa Federal Constituency of Katsina State. Ismail, Dalha, Kusada are my names. I stand here before the House, before you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, to second the motion, ably moved by my colleagues fall. I so second. Thank you.
Before the amendment, I want to ask a question. Honorable member, let's have it seconded first. It's been seconded. Please let me ask this question. How do you intend to fund this? I didn't hear you propose how to fund the free high blood pressure and sugar level check at the airports. Can you lead the debate and talk a little bit on that before the amendment, please?
Mr. Speaker and members.
Make it 1 minute, please. Go straight to the point.
It's obvious that even as we speak today, we have in our airports some form of medical health check, particularly when you want to obtain yellow fever vaccine when you are traveling. But there's only one point that is located at obscure position. So I believe that funding cannot be a challenge. The Ministry of Health will do that. And if we need to amend and put that specifically, I don't mind. But I think it's not a challenge to fund. It's a high blood check and a diabetic check. It does not matter, you know. There are also various pharmaceutical centers in our airports. Once it's detected, you are prompted. Some people forget to even take their medication because of traveling details. So we are not asking for a major, you know, intervention. It's just a check.
I think this is a very straightforward motion. It's either you are for it or you are against it. Those in support of this motion say aye. Amendment. Those against say nay.
Amendment, please.
Let me ask again. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Amendment,
please.
We will only take one amendment from here, because we have 15 issues on our paper.
Amendment, please.
We cannot do amendment forever. Okay? Let's have the honorable member. And always put off your phone until you are recognized.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Sani Gidi Abdurrahim, representing the good people of our Dakota Federal Constituency. I rise this morning to amend the motion ably moved my colleagues. The motion is very, very important. It's life-touching. But however, his target is only on the very high dignitaries who are only doing air traveling. I want to amend the motion that the free check of blood pressure and sugar level should be extended to primary health care centers, cottage hospitals, and specialist hospitals in our constituency. It's very, very important because it's our old men and our people at home that are most affected by this BP, not people that are traveling that are important personnel. I want to include as an amendment that our primary health centers, which is being funded by local government, the cottage hospitals who are being funded by the state, specialist hospital, should declare a free test of blood pressure and sugar level for everybody that comes to hospital, so that they can know their health status. Mr. Speaker, I so amend.
Any seconder to this amendment? Yes, the man with the cap.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My name is Clement Jimbo, member representing Abak Etmekbo, Ika Federal Constituency. I rise to second the amendment as ably amended by my colleague. Thank you.
Please. Amendment.
Only one amendment here and then we are done.
Amendment.
Let me have the gentleman down there beside the AC. Not you, please.
Point of order, sir. Mr. Speaker, the first amendment has not been concluded, sir.
Thank you very much. The amendment have been seconded? Yeah. Those in support of that amendment say aye. Those against say nay. Let me ask again. Those in support of that amendment say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay. The nays have it. The next amendment, make it brief. Please put on your microphone so that we can hear.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Isa Muhammad Anka, representing Anka Talata Mapara constituency, Zamfara State. My worry on the prayer is that it has not taken any issue relating to sustainability. I cannot see how you can sustain this kind of project without including the Federal Ministry of Health.
So what is your amendment, sir?
Where he said relevant or healthcare agencies, you should insert Federal Ministry of Health.
Thank you. Any seconder to this amendment? Chief Agocha.
Mr. Speaker, my name is Honorable Obi Agocha. I rise to second the amendment to include Minister of Health as ably moved by my colleague. I so second.
Those in support of the amendment say aye. Those against say nay. Those in support of the amendment say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. We said we are taking one amendment here, one amendment that, and we have done that. Let's, on the general motion, those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion and the resolution is hereby committed to refer to the Committee on Aviation once constituted. Honorable colleagues, the fourth order of the day is a motion on the need to decentralize the authentication, verification of qualifying certificates among the 6 geopolitical zones, standing in the name of Honorable Adeyemi Akim Adeyini. Honorable Adeyini is invited to move the motion. Please remember subject matter and then prayer. Please, subject matter and then prayer. We need to speed up things. We can read it from the publication. Subject matter and then prayer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable the Prince Akim Adeyini Adeyemi. I represent the people of Afijio, Atiba, Oyo East, Oyo West. I'm from Oyo State. Mr. Speaker, I stand to move the motion that there's need to decentralize the authentication and verification of qualifying certificates among the geopolitical zone. Mr. Speaker, my prayer is that the House do resolve, we should hold the Federal Ministry of Education to decentralize the process by allowing one of the state ministries of education in each geopolitical zone to set up a system with a view to allowing applicants from each zone to direct the application to the ministry undertaking the assignment in that zone. Mr. Speaker, the House do mandate the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services when constituted to ensure compliance. I shall move, Mr. Speaker.
That was a good one, straight to the point, and that is the speed we are going to use now. Subject matter, prayer, and then we rule on it. Any seconder of this motion? Any seconder to this motion? Let me have...
Mr. Speaker.
Mrs. AGF.
Right, Honorable Speaker. My name is Honorable Mrs. Regina Akume, representing the good people of Bokotaka. constituency, I rise to second the motion moved by my colleague. I so second.
Thank you.
Amendment, sir.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm a Jaha once again, Chibok Dambuo goes a federal constituency. Sir, I want to amend prayer 1. Communication between Ministry of Education and other schools abroad is basically from Ministry of Education, that is Federal Ministry of Education, to any other school in any part of the world. Sir, if we are decentralizing the verification and authentication of results to state ministries, zonal offices to do it, I want to amend as follows to give the motion a very good credence. That urge the Ministry of Education to decentralize the centers within the ministry by providing offices and zonal desk officers in the Ministry of Education headquarters, Abuja. The reason why they are centralizing it is to control fraud and human errors. And all the institutions abroad, because I used to be a commissioner for higher education when I was a commissioner, they can only receive communication from the office of the Minister of Education. And in addition to this, even NECO provide a platform where you can do e-verification, and that can decongest the verification process. So instead of us to say that each and every zone should do their verification of result, that is not going to be acknowledged by the institution abroad, is going to be service in futility. What I'm trying to say in a nutshell, it has to be centralized for the purpose of control at the Ministry of Education's headquarters. But each zone should be given a desk office and a desk officer or office for the verification of each and every result coming from that zone. That is my amendment. Thank you, sir.
Any seconder to this amendment? Anybody upstairs again?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, the gentleman upstairs. Can you second this motion?
Right, Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, distinguished colleagues, I rise to...
Speak into your mic so that we can hear you.
Right, Speaker, sir, distinguished colleagues, I rise to second the motion, not the motion, the amendment as ably moved by my colleague.
Thank you, thank you. Motion has been moved and seconded. We will only take one more amendment from here. We've taken from here, one from you. Let's hear you, Shifa Goja.
Mr. Speaker, I still remain Obi Agocha, representing the good people.
Before that, those in support of that amendment say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Sorry, go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, I still remain Obi Agocha, representing the great people of Iguano, Umuahia North, Umuahia South Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I actually agree with my colleague Ahmed Jaha, but because of the economic hardships, if we are decentralizing and allowing people, let's say from Southeast to come to Enugu, the zonal headquarters of Southeast, or to go to Kaduna, the zonal headquarters of Northwest, it will bring undue hardship on people. So rather than do zonal, my suggestion, sir, the same processes for the zonal should be allowed to remain in each of the states, in each of the states, so that it will be adequately, it will enable...
I think you are reversing us. I think you are trying to reverse us. We have gone beyond that.
Oh, we've gone
by
beyond
that. By that motion moved by Honorable Jaha, which have been seconded and the House has okayed.
Okay.
So that your own may no longer stand. Let me ask question on the motion as amended. Those who are in support of the motion as amended say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. Nay. The ayes have it. This particular resolution is referred to the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services when constituted. Honorable colleagues, the fifth order of the day is a motion on rehabilitation, expansion, and dualization of Bini Abraka Road in Edo State, standing in the name of Honorable Billy Osawaro. Honorable Osawaro is invited to move the motion as long as he understands that we just want the mentioning of the subject matter, since it's an infrastructure motion, as well as the prayer, so that we can move on. Please, we have a lot on our paper today.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, I still remain Chief Dr. Billy Famous Adesuwa Osawaru, member representing the good people of Orion Nwode Federal Constituency. I stand here today to move a motion on the need to urgently rehabilitate, expand, and dualize the Bini Abraka Road in Edo State. Mr. Speaker, I want to go to the prayers. The House resolves that we urge the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing and Federal Road Maintenance Agency to urgently consider dualizing the Benin Abraka Road for ease of movement within the connected states, community, and the oil sites in order to improve the economy. 2, also urge the Federal Road Safety Corps and the Nigerian Police Force to tow broken down vehicles off the road to ease movement and avert further accidents. 3, to further urge the Inspector General of Police to beef up security surveillance to ensure the safety of lives and property. And finally, 4, to mandate the Committee on Works when constituted to ensure compliance. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so move.
Thank you, Honorable. Any seconder to this motion? Yeah, Honorable Ginger, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues. My name is Ginger Omusibe. I represent the people of Isialangwa North, Isialangwa South Federal Constituency of Abia State. Mr. Speaker, dear colleague, I beg to second the motion as moved.
Honorable colleagues, this is an infrastructure-related motion, so I put the question straight forward. Those in support of this motion should say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committees on Work and Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA, once constituted. Honorable colleagues, the sixth order of the day is a motion on need to rehabilitate the collapsed bridge linking Nasarawa Plateau State to other northern parts of the country, standing in the name of Honorable Jeremiah Omaro. Honorable Omaro is invited to move the motion, having in mind that we just want subject matter and then the prayer. Honorable Omaro, you are invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Jeremiah Umoru, ACA, member representing the good people of Akwanga, Wamba, Nasarawa Egon Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Nasarawa State. My motion is on the need to rehabilitate the collapsed bridge linking Nasarawa, Plateau State to other northern parts of the country. I move to the prayers, Mr. Speaker, sir. The House resolves, 1, urge the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing to complete the construction of the damaged Akwanga Highway Bridge, monitor and ensure that quality materials are used for the construction of roads and bridges to avoid frequent collapse. 2, also urge the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA, to commence the rehabilitation of Akwanga Wamba Road to avoid further loss of lives and properties. 3, further urge the Ecological Fund Office and the Federal Ministry of Environment to urgently assist and provide lasting solution to the flood and erosion-prone areas of Akwanga, Wamba, and Nasarawa Egon Federal Constituency. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, mandate the Committee on Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA, when constituted, to ensure implementation. I so move. Thank you.
Any seconder to this motion, please? The man with the white cap behind.
My name is Honorable High Chief Kenny Small Chukwugozie Nwachukwu. I represent the good people of Olo, Osu, and Oru East Federal Constituency in Imo State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my colleague. I so second. Thank you very much.
Honorable colleagues, as you are aware, this particular motion is an infrastructure-related motion. So, just like the former, I put the question. Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The motion is referred to the Committee on Federal Road Maintenance Agency as well as Committee on Ecology once constituted. Honorable colleagues, the seventh order of the day is a motion on need to intervene in the gully erosion devastating communities in Aguata Federal Constituency of Anambra State. Standing in the name of Honorable Dominic Okafor. Honorable Okafor is invited to move the motion, respecting our timing as well.
Mr. Speaker, fellow colleagues, my name is Honorable Engineer Dominic Okafor. I represent Aguata Federal Constituency in Anambra State. I rise to move the motion need to intervene in the gully erosion devastating communities in Aguata Federal Constituency of Anambra State. I go straight to the prayers. The House resolves, 1, urge the Ecological Fund Office and related agency to carry out the impact assessment of the affected communities and fund a remediation plan that will stem the tide of gully erosion in the areas so affected. 2nd, urge the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to provide relief materials to the affected communities of Aguata Federal Constituency. And the last but not the least, honorable colleagues, mandate the committees on environment, works and water resources when constituted to make funds available in the 2024 budget estimates for the construction of drainage system and erosion control measures to tackle the menace of gully erosion in the affected communities. Mr. Speaker, fellow colleagues, I so move.
Thank you, honorable colleague. Any seconder, I would like a lady to second this motion. Where is Honorable Kafila? Sit down, who second this motion. Sit down. Okay, no, let Honorable Kafila second it.
Come and use this one.
Your mic is not working. Use the one in front of you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
No, use the mic. Use the mic of Honorable Amobi. Don't worry, we are patient. We'll wait for you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Kafila Togbara is my name. I rise this afternoon for and on behalf of the people of Koshofe Federal Constituency to second the motion ably moved by my honorable colleague. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Kafila. As you know, honorable colleague, this is a disaster-related motion, disaster-related. So I put the question, those in support of the motion should say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Environment, Works and Water Resources once constituted. Honorable colleagues, the eighth order of the day is a motion on the need to rehabilitate the dilapidated portion of Onitsha, Owerri Road, Anambra State. Standing in the name of Honorable Pascal Abodike, Honorable Abodike is invited to move the motion, respecting our time, subject matter, and prayers.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Dear honorable colleagues, I am Right Honorable Pascal Abodike. I represent here the Federal Constituency of Anambra State. Mr. Speaker, dear honorable colleagues, I come with a motion need to rehabilitate the dilapidated portion of Onitsha Owerri Road, Anambra State. Mr. Speaker, taking proper cognizance of our time, please permit me to go through some paragraph of this motion before going to the prayers.
No, just go to the prayer, straight to the prayer.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, having read out the motion, let me quickly go to the prayers. Please, Mr. Speaker, the House resolved to urge the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing to move to the site of the collapsed Onitsha Owerri Road and commence rehabilitation to prevent further loss of lives and property. Also, urge the federal government to increase the ecological funding to address the menace of erosion in Anambra State, which has become a serious threat to the existence of the people. Again, urge the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA, to commence repair in the dilapidated Onitsha Owerri Road, and mandate the Committee on Emergency and the Disaster Preparedness, Ecological Fund, and Federal Road Maintenance Agency to ensure compliance. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Thank you. Any seconder to this motion? Yeah, this gentleman here with the black cap. Put on your microphone first.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Adefiraye Ayodele Festus, represent the good people of Ileluju Okegbo and Odigbo Federal Constituency. I rise this afternoon to second the motion rightly moved by my colleague. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable colleagues, this is an infrastructure motion as well, and so we'll go ahead and put the question. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to committees on emergency and disaster preparedness, ecological funds, and Federal Road Maintenance Agency once constituted. The ninth order of the day is a motion on need to compel the Federal Character Commission to diligently discharge its constitutional and statutory mandate and responsibility. Standing in the name of Honorable Paul Sunday Namchi, Honorable Namchi is invited to move the motion. Subject matter, and then the prayers.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name is Honorable Professor Paul Sunday Namchi, representing the very good people of Enugu East and issues of federal constituency. I am from Enugu State, the core city, Mr. Speaker. I rise this morning to move the motion on the urgent need to compel the Federal Character Commission to diligently and objectively discharge its constitutional and statutory mandates and responsibilities. Because of the exigence of time, though I have asked because of the import of this very motion to read the motion and the content of the motion, if you permit. But if not, I will go straight to the prayers. The prayers to mandate the relevant committees of this House, when constituted, to request the Federal Character Commission to forward the returns of all appointments undertaken by the ministries, agencies, and corporations under its jurisdiction between 2015 to 2023, and report to this House 2 months after the receipt of that official submission from the Commission. I so move.
Mr. Speaker, upstairs.
What is yes too? They can amend. Okay. No, they can do that. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Thank you. Did you say 2 months or 4 weeks?
It's 4 weeks.
I'm seeing 4 weeks on your prayer, but yeah, I'm hearing 2 months.
4 weeks.
4 weeks?
Yes, sir.
Any seconder to this motion?
Upstairs, Mr. Speaker. Upstairs.
The man wearing the black cap behind with white shirt. Yes, you. Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, my name is Honorable Tese Ugbo. I'm from Kwande Oshongo Federal Constituency of Benue State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my honorable colleague. I so second.
Thank you, honorable colleagues. I think this is a straightforward motion. Yeah, go ahead.
Additional prayer, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Akinlade Abiodun, representing Yewa South Epuka Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker, from Ogun State. My amendment is like this: the House should urge the Federal Character Commission to submit the Federal Character Balancing Index, of all the employment approved for agencies and MDAs within the period.
How is that different from the already existing prayer? Differentiate two of them.
No, the difference between employment and the Federal Character Balance Index will show the number of the states, the number of the employment approved for the states is different from the employment. You can employ, maybe your employment will not reflect the fairness and equity of the state. So this one will let us know the Character Balance Index, which will now show us the equity and justice in the employment level. And that's the complaint of a lot of people, that the employment has not been showing the Federal Character Balance. So we have to be sure that...
Thank you. You have made your point. What they are saying is that to ensure that there is the spread, that we need that character index. And I think, any seconder to that amendment?
Upstairs, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, that gentleman behind the chief whip. Honorable member. Yeah, go ahead. You.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable distinguished parliamentarians, my name is Honorable Mohammed Dang Abashehu, member representing Zaki Federal Constituency from Bauchi State. I stand to second the amendment made by my colleague. Thank you.
Upstairs, Mr. Speaker, upstairs.
Thank you.
Another prayer, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this amendment say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The question on the main motion.
Additional prayer.
Another amendment?
Additional
Yeah.
prayer.
Oh, amendment upstairs. Can we hear you?
Yes, sir.
Please go ahead.
Right, Honorable Speaker, sir.
Mike, so that we can hear you, sir.
Right, Honorable Speaker, sir. My colleagues, I'm giving a new prayer. Please. The new prayer reads.
Increase the mic of those who are upstairs. Increase their mic so that we can hear them.
Hello, Mr. Speaker. Can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me, sir?
Honorable colleague, maybe you should bend down a little bit and put your mouth closer to the mic if you don't mind. Sorry for the inconveniences.
Right, Honorable Speaker, sir. I am Aliyu Ilyas Abubakar, representing Sapana Badari Dan Musa Federal Constituency. I am from Katsina State. Right, Honorable Speaker, sir. I am proposing another new prayer to urge the Federal Character Commission to sustain the reporting culture of all appointments undertaken by the MDS in subsequent times. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so move.
If I got him right, he wants the Federal Character Commission to suspend all employment. Is that what he was saying?
So to sustain this reporting culture of all appointments, to sustain the reporting culture of all appointments undertaken by the MDS in subsequent times.
No, the chair is not yet clear with what you are trying to explain, and we cannot rule on it. I want to understand, are you saying that we should suspend?
Not suspend, to sustain, because what the prayer is talking, the prayer number 1 is talking is about reporting 2015 to 2023. But my new prayer is to sustain the reporting culture of all appointments undertaken by the MDS in subsequent times, not only 2015 to 2023. I so submit.
Okay, I think some of you who heard clearly, I will just put it to question because it's not about my hearing alone, it's about the position of the House. And I really apologize for these inconveniences I know very soon we are going to resolve this. We'll be all sitting together as one, and we'll be able to hear ourselves better. But I'm sure you people heard him better than I. So I want to ask if there's any seconder to that motion. Any seconder to the motion? Yes,
Yes, sir.
Honorable.
Upstairs, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, my fellow colleagues, I remain Right Honorable Ambassador James Shaib Barker, representing Gombe Home Federal Constituency, Adamawa State. I hereby second this amendment made by my honorable colleague.
Let me ask you, before you second, what was the amendment?
The amendment was...
Yes, what was he amending? What was it?
He was saying that we should sustain.
Sustain.
Yes, the appointment.
So you want us to sustain what the motion is saying is wrong?
Right, Speaker, sir. Let me explain, please.
Because the motion is saying we should improve on the way we implement the provisions of Section 14.
Right, Speaker, sir. Let me explain further, please.
But he said, he also added that we should add to the amendment.
Okay, let me put the question. Those in support of this amendment say aye. Those against say nay. The nays have it. Another amendment. Let me hear from you, Honorable Miriam. I think that's the last amendment on this so that we don't water the motion down.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Dear honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Miriam Odinaka Onoha. I speak for the people of Okigwe, Onimu, Isi Alamba, and Federal Constituency. I am from Imo State. I rise this morning to move for an amendment owing to the importance of this very motion that the House do set up an ad hoc committee to carry out a holistic investigation of these alleged misappropriating in the employment and approvals by the Federal Character Commission. That's my amendment, Mr. Speaker.
The amendment is for an ad hoc committee to be set up, not waiting for the Federal Character Committee on Federal Character when constituted. Those in support of that amendment say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes. Oh, you have not been seconded. Who is seconding, please? Yes, Honorable Halim. No, the gavel has not gone on, so you can second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Honorable colleagues, Abdullah Ibrahim Halim is my name. I am from Kogi State, one of the most peaceful states in this country. I rise to second the amendment as moved by Honorable Miriam. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Motion has been moved for an amendment and have been seconded. Those in support of this amendment say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The last amendment, please. Yes, the last one. Let's hear from you. But you've been given the floor, so speak.
Mr. Speaker, fellow colleagues, as a result of the last amendment, which we have all consented to set up an ad hoc committee, I felt it's very important that we rejig the heading of this motion to read, need to investigate the Federal Character Commission to ascertain the level of compliance in the discharge of their constitutional and statutory mandate and responsibility. I so amend. I so move to amend.
Any seconder to this amendment of the title? Let's have that gentleman, with the white bear. Honorable colleague.
Mr. Speaker, sir, my name is Aliyu Bappa Misau, FCNA. I stand to second the amendment as moved by my colleague.
Thank you very much. Those in support of this amendment say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. On the main motion, the main question is thus far. Those in support of the main motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is hereby referred to an ad hoc committee on Federal Character Commission when constituted. Honorable colleagues, the 10th order of the day is a motion on need to revive Gele Gele Seaports, Edo State. Standing in the name of Honorable Esosa Eyawe, Honorable Eyawe is invited to move the motion, but remember, subject matter and prayers so that we can beat our time.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Engineer Esosa Eyawe. I represent the vibrant people of Oredo Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Edo State, the heartbeat of Nigeria. I rise to move the motion on the need to revive Gele Gele Seaport in Edo State. Mr. Speaker, despite the body of my motion clearly states the need to revive this seaport, I would move to the prayers, directly move to these prayers. Mr. Speaker, the House resolves to urge the federal government to, in line with its diversification agenda, leverage the huge economic potentials in the maritime sector by including the revitalization of Gele Gele Seaport in Edo State in the 2024 budget estimates. Mr. Speaker, the House also resolves to mandate the Committee on Maritime Safety, Education and Administration, when constituted, to ensure compliance. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Any seconder to this infrastructure motion? I want to give the opportunity to a lady, the honorable member from Port Harcourt. Put on your microphone.
I am Blessing Chigeru Amade, Port Harcourt Federal Constituency 2, an equal woman. I hereby second the motion by the distinguished member of this House. I so second.
Thank you very much, honorable member. Honorable colleagues, this is an infrastructure motion, and so I put the question. Those in support of this motion say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The motion is referred to Committee on Maritime, Safety, Education and Administration once constituted. Honorable colleagues, the 11th order of the day is a motion on the need to provide control measures on the federal road in Ganaja flood-prone area of Ajaokuta, Kogi State, linking the southeast states to prevent severe socio-economic adverse effect on Nigerians. Standing in the name of Honorable Sani Igidi Abdullahim, Honorable Abdullahim is invited to move the motion. I must say something about this before you move this motion. I'm impressed that we are going beyond our boundaries to move motion on issues affecting other people outside our constituency. That is the spirit of federal parliament. Don't just concentrate because you are from southeast, you must move motion only on things in southeast. Because you are from northwest, you must move motions only on those things on northwest. Spread out. You are not a state legislator or a regional legislator. You are a federal legislator. If you have complaints from other parts of the country, you should stand here and move a motion for other parts of the country. Thank you very much. Honorable, you are invited to move this motion if you are here.
Honorable Speaker,
I want to thank you, and I'm humble for that commendation, sir. Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Sani Egidi Abdurrahim, representing the good people, the humble people of Ajakuta Federal Constituency, Kogi State. I am going to quickly stand by the motion, the standing order of today, that I'll read the heading of my motion and go straight to the prayers. I rise this morning or this afternoon to move the motion as it is, the need to urgently provide control mentions on the federal roads in Ganaja flood-prone area of Ajakuta, Kogi State, linking the southeast states to prevent severe economic hardship or to prevent severe socio-economic adverse effect on Nigerians. Mr. Speaker, I want to please increase your indulgence to just allow me just a minute to draw attention to areas of very important. I am going to deviate from normal palliative of food, health, and shelter. This motion is centered on road and route, especially as federal government have been doing well on.
No, go to the prayer.
Okay, sir.
Stick to our rule. Go to the prayer. For today, that is our rule. We can read it. It's on notice.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The House resolves as 1, to invite the Director General of National Emergency Agency, NEMA, and all the federal government agencies that is involved in the flood area to brief the House on the measures put in place to ameliorate the flood disasters on the federal routes, especially in Ganaja, linking the 5 southeast states. Number 2, the House resolves to urge the federal government of Nigeria adequately prepared palliatives intervention inclusive of speedboats to convey Nigerians across the flood on the federal routes in Ganaja to prevent severe socioeconomic adverse effects. The House also urged the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, Federal Road Maintenance Agency, and National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to liaise with the Kogi State Ministry of Works and Housing to provide an alternative bypass to the federal routes in Ganaja in the flood-prone area to prevent cutting off the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, and other northern states from accessing the southeast states. The House also resolved to place constitute ad hoc committee in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Works, Federal Rural Maintenance Agency.
Excuse me, which prayer are you reading?
Number 5, please, sir.
Prayer number what?
Number 4.
Constitute an ad hoc committee. Where is that? Please lead according to the notice paper.
Yes, it's mandate.
I didn't see any ad hoc committee there. Please pray according to your prayers on the paper, please.
Mandate the Committee on the Works, Federal Road Maintenance Agency, to prepare, when constituted in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, Federal Maintenance Agency, and National Emergency Management Agency, to investigate the threat posed by the flood on the federal roads in Ganaja, ensure compliance and report back within the 3 weeks for further legislative action. I so move, sir. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Before I ask for seconding, this your prayer is like a motion itself. The size of your prayer is like a motion. So I wish to advise those who are drafting legislative instruments, try to summarize your prayers and make it as concise as possible, because we have a lot to do, and if it is smaller in shape, it will make it even more punchy. It needs a seconder to this motion. Honorable member, you want to go ahead, Deputy Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues. Before I second this motion, I want to talk briefly on the dangers.
No, we don't have time, please. No, we have other motions.
I want to enlighten this honorable chamber on the dangers.
It's an infrastructure. It's a disaster motion. Just second.
No. Abdullah Ibrahim Ali Halims is my name.
Put your speaker on.
And even affected directly by this disaster, I so second on the motion.
Thank you, Deputy Leader. Thank you very much. As you know, this is a disaster motion. I don't want us to water it down, so I'll just put
Amendment, please.
Amendment.
Amendment, please.
Amendment.
Amendment, please.
Kuye, let me, Honorable Kuye.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name remains Ademori Adeokuye. I represent the good people of Shomolu Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Lagos State. Mr. Speaker, my amendment is for prayer 3 to be expunged because it contravenes the intent of the Constitution that provides that Nigeria shall be a federation with the states having their level of independence. Now, this prayer is compelling a federal agency to liaise with the state government and to compel the state government to provide an alternative bypass.
Yeah, good point. Good point raised. What's your amendment there? I agree with you, Honorable.
Be expunged, sir.
A total
yes, sir.
Removal?
Yes, sir. Except we say that well, they are asking for.
Honorable Kuye, I would like you to redraft that particular amendment. Don't expunge it fully. Redraft it and remove the element of the state because of the three-tier government that we have: federal, state, and local government.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The discretion.
So redraft it and then present it. Go ahead.
Well, let's say we say also urge the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FAMA, and the National Emergency Management Agency to provide an alternative bypass to the federal route in Ganaja in the flood-prone area to prevent cutting off of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, and other northern states from accessing the southeast state through Kogi State.
I think that's a beautiful redrafting that you just did, and it's very impressive. I must say, it's very important to know that we don't make laws for the states. That's why they have their legislature. The Houses of Assembly, they handle the mandate that has to do with the state, while we handle the mandate that has to do with federal government, with our agencies. So the drafting is within the confine and the scope of the mandate of these MDAs that you just listed.
Yes.
So any seconder to that motion? Yes. The man with the black cap, no, behind, not you. Can you second it? Okay, you. Yes, go ahead. With the bowler hat. Honorable Dennis, I'm referring to you. Yeah, put on the microphone. Or go to the next seat. Don't worry, don't rush. We are waiting for you. Sorry for the inconveniences.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Honorable Dennis Nnamdi Agbo. I represent the enterprising people of Igboeze North Udenu Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Enugu State. I rise to second the amendment assembly moved by my colleague. I so second.
Amendment, please, Mr. Speaker.
Let's put a question there. Those in support of this amendment say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Amendment, please.
Yeah, the man with the black card behind, wear shirts, yes. The honorable member with the black cap.
Mr. Speaker, sir, respected colleagues, my name is Donald Ojogo. I represent the good people of Ilaje SL to Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Ondo State. Mr. Speaker, my amendment goes thus: that owing to the enormity of the situation at hand, these federal roads that are successfully cut off the 5 southeastern states qualify to be declared a national emergency. It also poses a great security.
What's the amendment, Honorable Member?
That is the amendment, that it should be included that it is a national emergency, a national infrastructural emergency that must be treated as such.
Are you making it the 5th prayer?
Yes, sir. I so amend, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? Yes. On this road, Honorable colleague.
Mr. Speaker, sir, Hussein Mohammed Jal is my name, representing the good people of the Federal Constituency of Kaduna State. I hereby rise to second the amendment ably moved by my colleague. I so second. Thank you.
Amendment. Amendment, Mr. Speaker.
Amendment, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of that amendment say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The last amendment should come from this side, if there is any. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Danladi Suleiman Agwe, member representing the good and fantastic people of Lokoja Kogi Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I also support this motion. I will move my honorable colleagues, Honorable Egede Abdurrahim.
No, it's not a motion.
Mr. Speaker.
I thought you wanted to make amendments.
Yes, sir.
So go ahead with the amendments. But if you don't have an amendment, we will understand. Next time we'll call you to second.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes, go ahead.
The amendment is through the House Standing Committee, if constituted, that the Federal Minister of Works and Housing to collaborate with Federal Remittance Agency should urgently work on the Kotonkarifi-Muritala Bridge section of the road by elevating the baseline pavement of the road to avert the regular submergence of the Truck A road by the annual recurrent flood event. This particular section stretching about 2 kilometers or less on the Lokoja-Abuja Highway,
Honorable colleagues,
which is the major road that links the south and the...
Thank you. Are you adding an extra prayer or amending the already existing prayers?
Mr. Speaker, I want to add extra prayer on it.
Are you adding an extra prayer? I thought that issue had been handled by one of the prayers. If you go through the prayers, I think it's comprehensive enough to take care of your concern.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, just please, I seek for your protection to make one point.
You are protected. Don't mind them. You are protected.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, so I'll call you again to second. For now, I don't think you have an amendment, but I'll call you again to second.
Amendment.
All right? Thank you.
Amendment.
Thank you.
Amendment, Mr. Speaker.
No, we have taken from here. We don't want to water this motion down so much. Let me put the general question. Those in support of this motion as amended, please say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to Committee on Works, Federal Road Maintenance Agency, and Emergency and Disaster Preparedness when constituted. Honorable colleagues, the 12th order of the day is a motion on need to investigate the non-remittance of due taxes by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, into the Federation account standing in the name of Honorable Odwak A. Odudo. Honorable Odudo is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Odwak Alphonsus Odudo is my name, representing the good people of Ikot Abasi. Nkpatenin, and East Nobono local federal constituency of Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, by the directive, I stand this afternoon to move a motion on the need to investigate the non-remittance of due taxes by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, into the Federation accounts. Mr. Speaker, I stand here to adopt all the paragraphs of this motion and accordingly pray the House to resolve to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the non-remittance of revenues to the federal government account by the Nigerian Petroleum Company Limited and the accusation by the Federation Accounts and Allocation Committee. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Thank you very much. I would like that gentleman who wanted to amend the motion before to second this motion. Can you stand up and second this motion, please?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Danladi Suleiman Agwe, member representing the good and fantastic people of Lokoja Kogi Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Kogi State. I hereby second the motion moved by my honorable colleagues. I hereby second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Amendment. Amendment.
Amendment.
That motion has been moved and seconded. Yes, where is the amendment?
Amendment.
Amendment, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, can I see your honorable colleague with the bowler hat? Go ahead.
With profound humility, Mr. Speaker, my name is Honorable Oboku Abunsiziwafoji. I represent the Yenegwa Kolokuma Okokuma Bayelsa State. Mr. Speaker, my amendment set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the non-remittance of revenue to the federal government account by the National Petroleum Company Limited and the accusation by the Federal Account Allocation Committee and report to this House within 1 month. 4 weeks.
Yeah, my concern with ad hoc committee is that just the last, I think the last day of the last section, a report similar to such investigation was carried out, and setting up an ad hoc committee on the same issue again might be duplication. Since a report has been laid and issues are being raised in that report, the House is in continuum. I think there is a process of reviewing that which was done by the 9th Assembly. Then opening up again, the same committee, inviting those people again, is the federal government resources. You know, so unless the committee is going to be coming on board to review the work done by the previous committee that had the same mandate on the same subject matter. But having said that, it will be good to also feel the pulse of the House. Who is seconding this amendment? The gentleman in front.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Kabir Yusuf Alaji, member representing the good people of Algalia and Federal Constituency, Bauchi State. I arise to second the amendment of my honorable colleagues. I so second.
Amendment. Straight to the point. Those in support of this amendment say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Mr. Amendment.
Another amendment?
Yeah.
Yes, let's hear you, Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Said Musa Abdullahi. I represent the people of Bida, Bakokacha Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Niger State. Mr. Speaker, as you rightly mentioned, we have standing committees of the House with clearly defined jurisdiction. The prayers and substance of the motion really falls under the jurisdiction of the Committee on Finance. So I propose that the motion be referred to the Committee on Finance when constituted. Like I said, these are clearly stated in our standing rules. It falls under the jurisdiction of the Committee on Finance. Section 162 of the Constitution also spelled out clearly, Section 162 to 168, clearly spelled out the responsibility of the Federation in terms of revenue generation and even compliances and enforcement of remittances by MDS. Section 22 of the Fiscal Responsibility Act is also very clear about the responsibility of agencies, GOEs, to the Federation and the Consolidated Revenue Fund.
So what's the amendment?
I propose that the prayers, the substance of the committee, be referred to the Committee on Finance when constituted. Thank you.
Is there any seconder to this amendment? Because what it means is that if you are seconding it and if you vote on it, there will be no ad hoc committee. So it will wait for the finance committee that will be constituted end of this month. Gentlemen and honorable colleagues, it is important to notice that we cannot have 50, 60, 70 ad hoc committees, especially when our standing committees will be coming on board in a few days. Some of these things should be given to the standing committees for a better management. Please. Let me hear from you, Honorable Maki. Honorable Maki, are you seconding?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues. I'm Abubakar Maki Eleman. I'm from Jigawa State. I represent Madam Kaugama Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion as amended by my honorable colleague. I so second. Thank you.
Those in support of this amendment say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Those in support of the motion as amended say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is hereby referred to the Committee on Finance once constituted. Honorable colleagues, the 13th order of the day is a motion on the need to investigate the abandonment of Section 1 of the project for dualization of Kano-Maiduguri Road, standing in the name of Honorable Yusuf Shitu Galambi. Honorable Galambi is invited to move the motion. Please, subject matter and then the prayers.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Yusuf Shitu Galambi. I represent Guaram Federal Constituency, and I'm from Jigawa State. I stand to move a motion of the need to investigate the abandonment of Section 1 of the project for the dualization of Kano to Maiduguri Road. Mr. Speaker, in order to save time, and I assume the chairman, the speaker, and all honorable colleagues here seated have gone through the body of the motion, so I will quickly go straight to read the prayers of the motion. The prayer of the motion is to constitute an ad hoc committee to investigate the non-completion of the road with a view to ensuring that all factors impeding its completion are effectively addressed and the road duly completed, and report back within 3 weeks to the House for further legislative action. Mr. Speaker, so move.
Thank you very much. You asking us for another ad hoc committee?
Amendment.
Prayer.
Amendment.
Any seconder to this motion, please? The gentleman raising the paper, honorable member.
Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Nasiru Shehu, representing the good people of Bodinga, Dengeshuni, Tureta, Federal Constituency of Sokoto State. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise this afternoon to second the motion ably moved by honorable colleagues. I so second. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you. Yes, amendments? Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Kabiru Amadou My Palace is my name. I represent the entire people of Gusau Tsapi Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Zamfara State. Mr. Speaker, I want to add a prayer or a prayers to this motion instead of constituting another ad hoc committee. I think we should mandate the Federal Ministry of Works to mobilize the contractor to the site and to mandate the House Committee one constituted to ensure compliance. I think it's better than doing another ad hoc committee, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, honorable colleague. The amendment is that we should not do ad hoc committee. That prayer, we should leave it for the substantive standard committee once constituted. Any seconder to this particular amendment? I want to go upstairs again. Can somebody second? The gentleman wearing the bowler hat, please, just second.
Mr. Speaker, my names are Honorable Barrister.
Please bring your mouth closer to the mic, please. Sorry for the inconveniences. Don't sit, please. Just bend down to the mic, yes.
Mr. Speaker, my names are Honorable Barrister Ben Itana Bene. I represent the good people of Okpe, Saple, Ubie Federal Constituency. I rise this afternoon to second the motion moved by my honorable colleague. But Mr. Speaker, let me just quickly mention that I will be interested in the motion 14 when it is read. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I'll pretend I didn't hear that because I'm sure you just stood up to second. And let me put the question. Those who are in support of the motion as amended say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. Nay. The ayes have it. On the general motion, those in support of the motion say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Works and FEMA once constituted. Honorable colleagues, the 14th order of the day is a motion on need to discourage the destruction of vessels laden with stolen crude oil with a view to curbing environmental pollution in the Niger Delta region. Standing in the name of Honorable Thomas Honorable Itomi is invited to move the motion understanding for want of time that we will only take the subject matter as well as the prayers.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleague. Iretobi Thomas is my name. I represent the people of Warri South, Warri North, and Warri Southwest. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I'm from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this afternoon to move on the need to discourage the destruction of vessel laden with stolen crude oil with a view to curbing environmental pollution in the Niger Delta region. Mr. Speaker, may I go to our prayer? My prayer one is urge the security agents of the federal government to desist from further setting ablaze vessels laden with stolen crude oil. Prayer two is mandate the Committee on Environment when constituted to ensure compliance. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleague, I so move.
Any seconder to this motion, please? We want to get those who have not been given the opportunity. AVM, let's hear you speak.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I am Mayor Vice Marshal Ojo, retired, Honorable Member representing the good people of Ekiti Federal Constituency 1, Ekiti South, comprising of his Orun, Ikere, and Ilawe. I rise this afternoon to support the motion moved by colleagues, and I so second.
Thank you very much.
Amendment, Mr. Speaker.
Any amendment, Honorable Ibe, let's hear you.
I have sent my amendment, Mr. Speaker.
Oh?
I have sent my amendment earlier, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, I've not seen it. Clark, give me the amendment of Honorable
Abiante.
Abiante, please. Let me look at it, please.
Amendment, Mr. Speaker, upstairs.
Yes, let's. Yes, Honorable Nkwanta. Ibe, I called Ibe first, please. Honorable Nkwanta, sit down.
Mr. Speaker, yes.
Mr. Speaker, my name is Ibe Okwara Osonwa Okaba, one of Ohafia, and I represent the very prosperous people of Aruchukwu, Ohafia Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I want to add a prayer to this motion. I want us to add that we urge the security agencies to take legal action against these vessels laden with stolen crude oil. We have nothing like that in this motion paper. I so amend.
Any seconder to that amendment? Off your mic, please. Any seconder to that amendment? Yes. Seconder?
Speaker, my name is Isa Muhammad Anka, representing Anka Talata Mopara constituency. I want to second the amendment made by the last speaker for the simple fact that the cost of externalities, Mr. Speaker, is just too much to have only one prayer. Only one prayer. This is something.
What's your amendment, sir?
The amendment is that.
You want to add more prayers to it?
Yes.
So add your prayer. Let's hear.
That whoever is found guilty should be charged to court for an appropriate punishment.
I didn't hear that, please.
Mr. Speaker, upstairs.
Hello.
Go ahead.
That whoever has been found guilty in relating, to this issue should be charged to court for proper punishment. Thank you very much.
But there is a motion for amendment that was moved by eBay. I thought you were seconding it.
Oh, I think we are taking the same thing. So
oh no, we just want somebody to second it now. There's a motion by Honorable eBay, who is seconding it.
I arise to second the motion that.
Who is arising?
I
without being recognized. Don't arise, please, until we recognize you. The gentleman wearing brown there. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Mudashiru Lukman, representing the good people of Ayedire Iwo Federal Constituency. I rise this afternoon to second an amendment made by my honorable colleagues. I so second. Thank you, sir.
Those in support of that amendment say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Another amendment?
Yes. Yes.
Let's have a PhD.
Right Honorable Speaker, my name is Dr. Patrick Umar. I represent the industrious people of Ikorekpene, Esenudum, Oborokara Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, my amendment goes as follows. Amending the second prayer to read, mandate the Committee on Environment and Climate Change, when constituted, to ensure compliance. I so amend.
Mr. Speaker, amendment upstairs.
Any seconder to that amendment? No seconder.
Amendment, Mr. Speaker, upstairs.
Yeah. Before I come upstairs for amendment, I want this one to be seconded. Any seconder to this amendment? Yeah, the gentleman with the glasses behind Honorable Ginger, yes? Go ahead. Please hurry up.
Mr. Speaker, I am Honorable Fayinka Moses Oluwatoyin, standing here for the people of Mushin, 2 Federal Constituency, Lagos State. I rise this afternoon to second the amendments being amended as moved by my honorable colleague. I so second.
Those in support of this amendment has been moved and seconded, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The last amendment from this side. The amendment of Honorable Abiante, may I read it? To amend prayer 2 by adding Committee on Maritime Safety, Education and Administration. Any seconder to this amendment? He's moving for the prayer 2 to add Committee on Maritime Safety, Education and Administration. Any seconder? Honorable Osby.
Mr. Speaker, upstairs. Amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Gono Ziribo. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Imo State. I represent the good people of Unkwere, Wangali, Su, and Jaba Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the amendment as moved by my colleague, Honorable Avanta. I say second.
Those in support of this amendment as moved and seconded, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Mr. Speaker, upstairs, please. Mr. Speaker, upstairs.
Still on the same motion.
Amendment.
Honorable Benta, I think we have handled your...
Yes, Mr. Speaker, and my distinguished colleagues, yes, you have read my amendment. But Mr. Speaker, if you gauge the temperature of the House, you know that this motion is very, very key, very important to the people, especially of the Niger Delta, Mr. Speaker. It will be necessary for me to explain why that committee is essential. That committee oversights a parastatal, Mr. Speaker, whose responsibility it is to maintain the environment within the marine everywhere in the world, sir. It is that committee that is responsible for the safety of life at sea. And when these vessels are sunk, Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Abiante.
it not only impaired navigation,
Honorable Abiante.
it hazards to health, sir. I would have loved to add just 1 minute to explain the danger that we face as a people.
No, Mr. Honorable Abiante. I mean, the House has agreed with you that this year prayer is in order. And we know the mandate of NEMASA. So let us not overflog it. And we know where this thing is happening. The Niger Delta is feeling the impact so much. And the analysis of the motion was apt in addressing that. So stressing it any further when we are looking for time to round up will be a disservice to these honorable members who has been patiently waiting to make sure that we'll fast track some of our activities today. So kindly accept that we'll move on.
Mr. Speaker, last
Has that amendment been seconded? And Abiante's amendment, has it been seconded? Good. Those in support of it say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. I think that is the last amendment on this. Let me ask for the general. What do you guys want to ask?
Yeah, Mr. Amendment.
On the same motion?
Yes.
Okay, let me give you the final chance. Please make it brief.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker, my honorable...
Honorable Nkwanta, please, if you may, kindly sit down. Let us give this chance to those upstairs before you, if you don't mind.
Thank you,
they feel alienated, so any opportunity for them to express themselves, we should allow them. Please go ahead, honorable colleague.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Barrister Ben Etanabene Okbe Saple Uwe Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, my amendment is an addition to the prayers that this House should set up a committee to investigate why, in the first place, the security agencies are burning these vessels. Is it that they want to hide the identity of the owners of these vessels, or they fear when they are seized, they are re-released, to the owner? It is important that we must know exactly what is happening and see if their action is good for us or not good for us, not minding the fact that their actions is polluting the waters and destroying the economic life of the people of the Niger Delta. I so move.
Can you off your mic, please? Who is seconding that particular amendment? Any seconder? Yes, Eshet, let's hear from you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ubrak Alfonso Sodudo is my name, representing the good people of Ikotabasi, Parani, and East Nobolo Federal Constituency of Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this afternoon to second that proposed amendment. I so second.
Those in support of this amendment as moved and seconded say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Yes, the final. No, wait, please. Let's hear Nkwanta, make it brief.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, this motion did not make any reference to what happened to...
Please make it brief. What is your amendment? Go straight to amendment.
That there is need for the committee, the ad hoc committee, to actually, when set up, to determine what happened to the volume of crude that was in that
Honorable
vessel.
Saidu, Honorable
the content
Indausa.
of the vessel.
Saidu Indausa, take your seat, please. Indausa, go back to your seat. Honorable, please go back to your seats, please. Please go back to your seats.
Please, it's in our rules. If you want to come to the chair, you take permission from the chief whip, so that here will not be crowded, and so that I can focus on handling the issues of the day.
Mr. Speaker, should I proceed?
Proceed, but make it go straight to the point.
Mine is an additional prayer.
Yes.
That the committee, when set up, should investigate and find out what happened to the 150,000 barrels of crude, which by current pricing comes to almost $12 million. It's important we know what happened and the content of the ship. I so amend.
That is, you are saying that they should not just look at the vessel, they should look at the content of the vessel.
Absolutely.
What became of it.
Absolutely.
So that is your amendment.
Yes, thank you.
Any seconder to these amendments? Yes, Honorable Ginger.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My dear colleagues, I remain Ginger Omusibe, Sialangwa North.
Please put your mic on.
Mr. Speaker, dear colleagues, I rise to second the amendment as moved by my dear colleague. I so second.
Those in support of this amendment as moved and seconded say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable, let's hear you for the last time. That's the last amendment on this motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'm Ibrahim Al-Mustafa Aliyu, member representing Wurno Rabah Federal Constituency from Sokoto State. The last amendment has taken care of what I really want to amend, because the concern is the vessels and the products. So I think the last amendment have taken care of what I want to move as an amendment.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So here is the question on the amendment, on the motion as amended. Those in support of it say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Environment as well as NEMASA when constituted. Most distinguished colleagues, the 15th order of the day is a motion on the rehabilitation of Federal Science and Technology College Okana Ofort in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, and other institutions for technical and vocational education across the country, standing in the name of Honorable Mark Eshet. Honorable Eshet, you are invited to move the motion, but make it as brief as possible.
Thank you. The Right Honourable Speaker, Mark Eshet is my name, speaking for the good people of Uyo, Uran, Nsiratai, Ibesikpo Federal Constituency of Akwa Ibom State, the destination state. Mr. Speaker, just as you've directed, this is a motion calling for the rehabilitation of the Federal Science and Technical College Okana Fort in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, and other institutions for technical and vocational education across the country. Mr. Speaker, I adopt all the contents in this motion, and I move for the prayers that the House do resolve to urge the federal government to rehabilitate, adequately fund, and equip the Federal Science and Technical College at Okana Fort in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, as well as other institutions for technical and vocational education across the country. Two, the House also resolved to urge the federal government to provide special intervention funds for procurement of workshop facilities for technical and vocational institutions across the country. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, the House do mandate the Committee for Tertiary Education and Services, when constituted, to investigate and ascertain the true status of institutions for technical and vocational education across the country, with a view to providing solutions to the issues preventing the institutions from functioning optimally and impacting the economy, and report back to this Honorable House within 4 weeks for further legislative actions. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable. Any seconder to this motion? Bring this into the office.
You know, Abonta, you know, after that.
There's a gentleman there wearing white outfit with the, yeah? Please, can you use another microphone? Make it fast, please.
Right, Honorable Speaker.
Go to another microphone that is working. Your neighbors should help you. Apologies for this problem.
Right, Honorable Speaker, my honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Abdurrahman Ajia, member representing the very good people of Gwagwalada, Kuje, Wali, Abaji, constituting Abuja South
Federal Constituency of FCT. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleague, I rise to support the motion heavily moved by my colleague, I so second.
Thank you. This is an infrastructure motion, and I think I should just go ahead and put out the question. Those in support of the motion, amendment? Yes, let's have them.
Honorable Speaker, dear colleagues, I'm Honorable Kaleja Adeboye Paul from Ajeromi Felunu Federal Constituency, the Mini Nigeria. I need us to amend the title of the motion to capture the mood of the motion itself. And what am I saying? Rather than say rehabilitation of federal science and so on, why don't we urge that there should be adequate provision of funding? Because why most of these places are not rehabilitated and in a dilapidated state is because they don't have adequate funding. So we can amend the topic to make adequate funding.
Can you move your amendment, please?
That's, I so move.
What is the amendment? Just move your amendment.
Is that the Federal Ministry of Education should provide adequate funding of Federal Science and Technological College, Ukam Effort in New York, Akwa Ibom State, and other institutions for technical and vocational education across the country. Provide adequate funding.
Is that not part of the prayers? It's already existing in the prayer. That will be duplication.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, let me just put the question. It's an infrastructure motion. Those who are in support of it say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services when constituted. Before we end today, there are one or two announcements that I would like to make. One is the announcement concerning late Senator Anyumude, MON. This is to remind all members that late Senator Anyumude service of song comes up by 5 p.m. today. Venue is Presbyterian Church of Nigeria, First Abuja Parish, number 5, Bouquet Close off Sokede Crescent, Wuse 2, Abuja. Takeoff is by 4:30 p.m. at the speaker's car pass. Wow. There's another amendment and another announcement coming from the Minority Whip, Honorable Dr. Ale Sajesi. This is to inform honorable members that have issues with their zonal intervention projects and capital projects to forward their complaints to the Office of the Minority Whip, room 4.15, between 18th to 20th of July 2023. And I will ask that you wait once we move on our adjournment to have, before we move on adjournment, we need to enter into few minutes executive section and then come back to adjourn. Okay? There is a piece of information that we want to pass across to you that will be of benefit to you. Gentlemen, honorable colleagues, The following members should endeavor to meet with Honorable Ali Jesse. Members who are up, you should come down. You should come and join us downstairs. Honorable Jonathan Okodiku, Honorable Ahmed Jaha, Honorable Chinedu Oga, Honorable Lala Eshaya. If you don't keep quiet, you will not hear what we are saying, and it concerns you. Honorable Lala Eshaya, Honorable Bashir Osman, Honorable Khadija Buka, Honorable Boma Goodhead, Honorable Hakim Adeyemi. House Leader, move that we enter into executive section for a few minutes. And let us clear the gallery for those who are not members of the House.
Mr. Speaker, Julius Ihonvere, Owan West, I rise to move that the House reverse to executive session. I so move.
Any seconder from the Minority Leader?
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I rise to second the motion that the House do resolve into an executive session. I so second.